was a night like any other night. Then something happened.
You see that?
Something different.
It's no shooting star.
Why here? Why now? Why clowns? They've been knocking them dead all over the universe.
What are you gonna do?
Knock my block off?
Soon they'll be doing it at a theater near you.
Killer Klowns from outer space.
Pizza?
Maybe they're just cruising through the galaxy and stopped here for a bite to eat.
You don't need a police pal, you need a psychiatrist. They want to play games? They're messing with the wrong guy.
What are you in for?
Killer Klowns from outer space. It's crazy.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Movie Humpers. I'm Bob Sham.
I'm Angela.
And this month, all month long, we're talking about Halloween movies every weekday.
Mm-hmm.
A Halloween drop. We call it Halloween Humpfest.
Yes.
And this mask is a little small. Like the top is digging into my scalp. But I got a big ass head too. And you know, I will wear the face on top of mine.
I feel like your glasses would fit.
Let me ask you a question. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I already know the answer.
Okay.
But I want to call out, this movie has inspired me to call out one of those fake fears that people say they have.
Oh, okay.
And I think
Fake
maybe...
fear?
Fake fears.
Big words. What's a fake fear? Clowns?
Clowns. I feel like a lot of people claim to be afraid of clowns.
You don't think it's real?
No, not in a phobic sense. I think a lot of people overestimate a lot of their feelings on it. I think maybe they just find clowns annoying.
You don't think they can be creepy? And there's plenty of examples of like monster clowns, including the movie we're watching.
But you have I'm talking about a genuine fear of clowns.
Well, not me.
But you hear people claim this all the time.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most claimed phobias out there. But I don't think that when you really split the hairs and go out into the world and be like, are you really phobically afraid of clowns? Most people are not. Like a regular clown, like if you're out in public and they're like, ee, like they're just annoying, like how a mime would be.
Yeah.
But I can't honestly say that I may have once claimed in my youth that I maybe didn't like clowns or was afraid of clowns, but it was bullshit. I'm not afraid of clowns. And I don't think most people that claim that are.
Well, I do think people can be afraid of weird ass things. So I think it's possible that some people are afraid of clowns, but I think that if people say...
I think there are definitely people afraid of clowns.
I think there are
Don't
people,
get me wrong.
Yes, who say they're afraid of clowns. I think either... Okay, three groups I would say they probably go into. The ones who really are scared. Small group.
The ones that are really afraid of
really, truly afraid. The ones who think they're annoying, like you said, or think it's like funny to say I'm scared of clowns, because I think that's also like a thing.
Or they're just thinking of it from
that's what
their
I'm
childhood.
saying. The third group is like, they can't look at a clown without associating it, with Killer Klowns from Outer Space, with Art the Clown, you know, like or the creepy clown that was like showing up in that town for a while, like 10 years ago.
I understand.
Stuff like that, I think, is what people call up. But you're right. They wouldn't be afraid of a clown at the circus.
Now, being creeped out at those clowns is normal. That's the point of those clowns.
But I think they just say in
but
blanket
it's not
in general.
Fear. It's not a fear.
No.
You know.
No, yeah. But I think the people who are actually afraid of clowns do lay in bed and think about clowns. And I'm scared of them.
Their phobias are real.
Yeah, totally. You just mean the vast majority of people who claim it are probably
Full of shit.
confused or full of shit.
I mean, a lot of people are like, yeah, I have ADD, and they don't.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, oh, I forgot that because I have ADD. I mean, it's a real self-diagnosing world, and it's only gotten worse.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. On TikTok and Reels and these little videos where people are self-diagnosing themselves.
Yeah.
All these
with
things.
major things, too. Like all those young kids who try to say they have
dissociative identity
disorder, which is, for anyone who may not know, multiple personality disorder is what they used to call it.
Which is extreme,
That's an extreme issue.
And also extremely rare, which means that when that does develop in someone, that's some serious shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
typically some serious shit has happened to that person.
And to even just casually claim that you would have something like that, it's really not. Not that I can't find a way to make a joke out of it.
It's also like the thing of...
They are wildly entertaining to watch these dumb kids pretend to be flipping into identities.
Hi, I'm Emmy. I'm 6 or 7.
Sure. I mean, it's also...
Conveniently on camera.
Like the people who are just like a neat freak and say they have OCD, and that's not real.
Yeah.
Because if you really have OCD, that can manifest itself in so many different ways, one of which can be like obsessive thinking. Like there's different things. Like there's things that you get obsessed with. It's not cleaning, but there's not... It could be. But like people who are OCD and they're cleaning too much... could be like washing their hands to the point of their hands bleeding.
I think
cleaning their teeth to the point of their gums being swollen.
OCD is probably a better example than even ADD or ADHD because
we've heard that our whole lives.
Because I bet more people have ADHD than they have actual OCD. Mm-hmm. So OCD is actually a great example of something that people just claim and it's like, no, admittedly can be wildly entertaining.
4 DID systems hanging out at once challenge. No one have any littles out. Impossible.
If you just look at everything, and yourself included, with skepticism.
Yeah.
This is Movie Humpers. Yeah. The sounds you hear will probably be dogs. And this is your first time watching Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Yes.
1988, directed by Steven Chiodo, written by Charles and Steven Chiodo. Starring Grant Kramer, Suzanne Snyder, John Allen, Nelson Royal, Dano. This is all Chiodo brothers here. Production company is the Chiodo brothers. Now, we talked about in Dracula Prince of Darkness, we criticized camp that knows it's camp. Mm-hmm. Like, you think about your Sharknadoes and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, this movie, it definitely understands its own campiness. But there is also something that is very well executed about this movie at the same time. It seems like a proper homage to maybe 50s creature features.
Yes.
But also with that 80s sensibility and dialogue.
I think the difference is that even while some of these characters are ridiculous, there is an earnestness to the way they're playing their roles. Even if they're assholes, even if they're stupid, there's an earnestness to it.
Yeah.
And what you lose when people are trying to make camp is that they get that little like wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing, and you're like, no. Like they can't be in on the joke if it's going to really be effective. And these people are not. They are going through an issue right now.
A very light horror romp. But at the same time, it is a showcase of skill, of effects, suits, and makeups. And I almost feel like this is the Chiodo brothers kind of made this movie basically to be like, this is what we can do in terms of effects and like makeup and props and all this shit.
I mean, these clown costumes are amazing.
Yeah. And
they're amazing.
They're the right level of creepy and yet, you know, you can't take your eyes off of it.
Absolutely. And there's no time where you're like, oh, that's so fake, or oh, that's a mask, or oh, that's where his eye, he can see. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no...
Yeah.
Excuse me, like, yeah, they look like they're made out of rubber, but like, they're also aliens, and it works.
They blink. I'm not even clear where I guess maybe they look out the mouths a little bit.
I don't know, because the mouths look great, the eyes look great.
Yeah.
Like, it all looks so great. And there's different sizes and body shapes, and everyone is so unique. Like, that's the thing, too. It's not like they made, like, 50 masks that look the same.
Yeah.
Everyone was completely unique.
You would see, by the end, there's like 20 clowns, and they all look very different.
All of them. Different sizes, different shapes, different hair, different mouths and eyes, and they just... It was gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part of this movie that deserves real praise. And this movie is a cult hit. Like, it is one that has kind of lingered in people's minds since they've seen it. I remember seeing it when as a kid. Mm-hmm. Cable, afternoon movie, late night movie schlock, you know. And it'd been a long time since I've seen this, but I had seen this in that format. And seeing it, you know, without the commercials, kind of unedited, there really isn't much you have to edit on this movie at all. Maybe bleep a few words, but like, this was a movie that they could show on cable in the 90s without having to remove much.
I don't think there was very many curse words, and there's no boobs. Like, there's no, I mean, they make out. There's like a top of the world makeout place, but nobody's like even got their hands in each other's pants.
Story's very simple here.
Yeah.
A spaceship lands. It's the shape of a top. It lands on Earth. This couple who are maybe too old to go to makeout point, like, you should have your own apartment, go and decide to go and investigate.
They're all in college.
Yeah. You can't make out in a fucking dorm?
I don't know.
Just seems weird.
And they're all making out in cars next to each other, where they can just like yell and talk to each other.
I guess that's a classic thing. Did you ever know, was there any makeout points?
I never went.
Where you grew up?
I never went, but yeah, there's a place in Nashville that like overlooks the city that people would talk about going to.
Love Circle?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that would be a decent
But I never
point.
went there, but people did go
I can
there.
see how you would end up, but not necessarily a part like, we need to get away. We got to go to Love Point to make out.
No.
Love Point was just kind of a cool place to just look at the city.
Yeah.
The only thing that I know of true that comes close is like over in Cedar Hill. I don't know, where men would like go bugger each other in the woods.
Well, that's just that. Yeah.
That's like
That's just cruising. That's just a cruising park. That's not anything like that.
But why? Like, why do you need to go to a place to make out?
You know what?
I'm talking to you, 80s,
well,
the
here's
80s,
what I was going to say.
50s,
it's another
60s,
callback.
70s,
That's
80s.
what I was going to say. It's another callback to those 50s movies.
Yeah. So there's these guys that drive an ice cream van. It's Paul and Rich, I think are their names. They're like the funny guys. We got a couple of cops. One is a giant raging asshole. And the other one is the guy that used to date the girl that's going with the guy to go look for, see what landed. Well, the guy and the girl, they come across a circus tent. So why not just go inside? Mm-hmm. And then they go into this facility. It's like one of those things where it's like, it seems bigger on the inside than the outside. And then they see these hanging things of cotton candy.
Nobody stores cotton candy like this.
What are you talking about? Of course it is. Look.
This old man that we see at the beginning who gets zapped. And a friend of theirs that they find. We never see the old man's dog again. I was hoping he'd turn up.
Pooh Bear.
So they got to go and explain to the police that there are clowns that have landed and they're putting people inside of cotton candy. Mm-hmm. And the clowns, they're going out into the town and causing mischief.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much as simple as it gets until we can figure out how to defeat the clowns. Let's talk about these clowns.
Yeah.
The only thing that's really they're like gods, essentially, right?
Excuse me.
Let's talk about all the weird clown kill things they do. They can do anything. They're going with cartoon, like Looney Tunes physics and logic here.
Yes. Okay. So, couple things. They have guns that shoot popcorn. We find out later that the popcorn is alive and can grow into tiny clown heads.
We assume that those will grow into full-grown clowns?
Theoretically. Yeah. But at one point they do shoot some people with the popcorn, and I was like, the popcorn's coming back around because it's stuck to them. They also have laser guns.
Yeah, that will form cotton candy around you.
The clown that did a whole puppet show.
Yeah.
To get a guy, and he one clown zapped the other clown, and this guy's watching laughing, and then he turns the gun towards the guy.
Yeah, the puppet show.
That was really cute. Because that's the thing, they're cute.
There's also a clown. He goes up to like a biker gang with his little clown tricycle.
Yes.
And the clown and one of the biker gang wrecks the clown's tricycle and is like clowning the clown. And then the clown does this thing where he jumps up into the air. They're like, where'd he go? And then he appears again and he has boxing gloves and literally punches the guy's head off. They're just raiding a drugstore or something.
Oh, yeah. And they're just like stacking a bunch of stuff on the counter. They're not really doing anything. They're just like kind of fucking with shit.
They're pretending to be pizza men.
Oh, pizza.
And going door to
They
door.
actually kind of talk a little bit, and they actually do say pizza.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's weird the way they say it.
And there's a point where one does shadow puppets, and it's entertaining this small crowd on the street, and then its shadow puppet turns into a monster and has them. That's just how powerful these creatures are.
Eats the people.
Imagine these are godlike creatures. They're manipulating reality.
One gets into the police station and he's dealing with the asshole cop.
Yeah.
And he straight up just shot the guy in the face with water. I thought something else was going to happen with that, but it was just like he's having fun with him beforehand. The cop puts handcuffs on him and then he takes his hands off.
Yeah.
He just like takes his hands off and then he like regrows hands later.
They kill the asshole cop. The asshole cop who is literally getting hundreds of calls about killer clowns. I mean,
and he's smoking a cigar, acting like it's a joke.
And he thinks like the whole town is in a big joke on him personally. But yeah, the clown does get him, and the good cop, David, he encountered when he goes back to the police station, the clown has turned dude into a hand puppet.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Which is pretty great.
Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you.
That image is right above
because
my
he's got
head.
like the blood.
Yeah, yeah. Which looked really cool.
And when he dropped him and he like had the bloody hand and he's like,
yeah, yeah.
oh, it was so good.
And they'll throw pies, which are acidic, and when someone like melted into like pie goop, and the little clown put the cherry on top, Angela fucking died. Like, she thought that shit was the funniest shit she had ever seen.
It was because he was a little clown and he just had a giant cherry.
He sits it there. These are... You might be scared of these clowns because they are in a horror movie and they're killer clowns.
They are.
But they are some of the funniest
love
clowns
them.
we've ever seen at the same time.
Yes.
Now, why are they clowns, right? I mean, we can split the hairs. It's fun to do so. We're not going to get a real answer.
But our boyfriend,
Yeah. He asks the
explains
questions.
It kind of, or he
has a
posits.
theory that
Yes.
makes a lot of sense. Maybe what we call clowns, maybe they were here first, and what we think of as clowns is what we got from them.
Yeah.
Like the clown culture that we have originally started from them a long time ago.
Yeah.
From an
Either they
ancient
came
society.
here once upon a time ago or they're from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
But ultimately, this is like the Transformers thing. Like, you're an alien robot. Why are you a truck? Now, Transformers fans, I'm sure you got an explanation. I mean, you can comment it if you want. I'm sure I'll read it. But, like, it is that thing, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're from somewhere else, and yet you're indicative of something that is common on Earth. You know?
Yeah, it's weird. Dude figures out how to kill them.
Well, yeah, in that same scene where his partner has been turned into a puppet, he shoots the clown in the nose. And it pops the nose, and then they turn into a bunch of sparkles and then explode.
What they figure out too, so then he's like, okay, I know how to kill them. And he's trying to get to, like, he's still in love with this girl who's not in love with him. She's got this boyfriend who's like the funny one. And so anyway, he's now trying to go back and find them and go after these clowns. And he's called in people from another city.
Yeah, they show up at the very end.
Oh yeah, they do show up at the very end. They figure out that these clowns are killing all the men, putting them in this cotton candy-like substance, And you see like this room at the beginning with a few of those cotton candy things.
Yeah.
At the end, the room is full. They have stopped to stock up.
Yeah, they're getting their juices,
they're
their
ready
energy.
to go to the next thing. Like
This is an interesting trait with these clowns.
Mm-hmm.
It's like us walking into a chicken farm
Mm-hmm.
and slaughtering and feeding until our bellies are full and we have the energy, and then we leave. They're actually not taking any more than they need.
Yeah.
They're on Earth because they need juice, they need blood, they need to kill people to get energy.
Mm-hmm.
They stick a crazy straw in the cotton candy and like slurp their blood.
I love that guy that clown before he did it, he was like kind of knocking, like you would check to see if a fruit was ripe.
Yeah.
He was like banging it listening to see if he thought it was like ready to drink. It was fun.
So when David the cop and the young couple find them at a pier at the end of the movie, those clowns are actually like wrapping it up. Like they're getting ready to take off because they're all converging. They've got their juices. They've abducted enough people into cotton candy and killed them.
They catch the girl at one point and they put her in a balloon.
Yeah.
And they had also a bunch of balloons on board, and it's like, are they putting all the women in balloons? And what are they going to do with those women?
It's not clear. Maybe lay eggs in them or something.
Killer clowns have regular penises.
We do see, because Paul and Rich, they drive
very big.
Paul and Rich, they have the ice cream truck, and they're also helping at the end. They're kind of like comical effect guys, but they're going into.
They were pretty pointless.
They go into the spaceship, and they encounter lady clowns. There are 2 lady clowns here.
It's like the lady gremlin.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like they're sort of an afterthought. Like they basically were like, oh, let's put some boobs on
maybe
some clowns and some big lips.
So these clowns are probably genderless. They're just co-opting the notions of gender set forth by the society.
Because the boobs were growing.
Yeah.
And like moving around.
In
and
theory,
the guys got real excited about it.
These clowns can do anything. So in theory, any clown can make their boobs just inflate.
Sure.
The same way they can manifest pizza boxes or have shadow puppets or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're also die when you shoot them and you bust their nose. So as godlike and reality bending as these alien killer clowns are, they're extremely vulnerable at the same time.
It's also interesting at the end because it all does come into kind of this like climax inside of the spaceship, and the 3 folks have climbed up kind of onto the top of this like mountain of toy boxes or something.
Sure.
I don't know what it was, but drums, who knows. And all the clowns are like around them trying to get at them. And the ice cream truck guys come up and they start as though the ice cream truck is talking to the clowns because there's a big clown on top trying to be like, this is Jojo the clown. You must bow to me. And it distracts them enough that the people get away. But then this huge, really scary clown that's 3 times as big as any of the regular clowns.
Like their god or leader
down from
or
the
something.
sky and they all run away. Like they are scared of him.
What the hell is that? I don't want to play here anymore. Can we go home now?
They're just doing their job in like filling up the spaceship with food.
Yeah.
We're just food to them.
Yeah.
He, though, is the tyrant.
And we can judge these clowns, but what do we do when we go down to Popeyes and get a 4-piece? We're really no different than they are, right?
I mean,
think about it. Apparently they had 2 endings. The original one, David the cop dies, or at least he doesn't come back because he explodes in the ship after he shoots the giant clown. He shoots the giant clown in the nose and manages to kill him, which somehow destroys also the entire ship.
yes. He had like cords coming out of him, I'm assuming connected to the ship, so maybe the whole thing was powered by him.
Oh, yeah, almost like he's a marionette
He
at the
did
same
seem-
time. But
yeah.
he looked cool.
Yeah.
Again, we can't... The effects in this movie are fantastic. It's like...
It's truly gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, really.
Like, really well executed. It's what the Chiodo brothers were really bringing to the table
I
here.
mean, these guys.
I hope they got more work off of that. But this movie is kind of iconic cult movie,
Yeah.
That's how it ends. But in the version that is released, the version we all know, David, I think it's like the ice cream truck crashes.
Yeah.
And we think Paul and Richard dead too, but they were in the cooler when it exploded, after we saw it explode.
Yeah.
And then the cop comes out and he's like, hey, I'm back or whatever. Oh, no, it's in the clown car.
Oh, that's right.
The clown car falls and crashes and he crawls out of it. So.
And then the three of them hug.
Yeah.
And now they're a throuple.
And then David kisses the girl on the head.
And the guy doesn't seem to mind. They're just all hugging.
Nope.
That's what I'm saying.
It's very simple. Killer Klowns from Outer Space. This movie's actually quite a bit of fun.
It's so much fun.
This is definitely kind of the fare you're looking for some Halloween romp good times. Stuff that might actually be really creepy, but also just not overtly serious at the same time.
Hell yeah.
I'm not afraid of clowns.
I'm not either.
I'm not. Do I like them? I wouldn't go that far. Am I afraid of them? No.
I do prefer my clowns to be in horror films.
That's true.
Truly.
You're going to give it 1 through 5. I'm going to give it 1 through 5 combined for best out of 10 for the Killer Klowns. How much do you give Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the 1988 film?
Okay, I'm going to give this a little higher than some people might because, oh my God, it was so much fun.
Some people might give this a 5. I think I know people that would.
I mean, it looks so good. Everyone played their part so well. I mean, they were not maybe perfect, right? But like, you hated the mean asshole cop and you felt bad for like the grungy kids that he was beating up. And it was just really great. So I'm going to give it a 4.
People do really love this movie. And I think it kind of works. I mean, the dialogue is the only time the effects looked kind of bad was when the cop car where David the cop had to wreck a few times. And so it cuts him going like, ugh. So it's kind of got that disposable 80s horror dialogue that's, you're not going to retain too much of it. I didn't hate Paul and Rich as much as you did, but it's all about the effects, the makeup, the clowns themselves. That's really what lifts the movie up. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give this a 3.5.
Okay.
So that's a 7.5 out of 10. That's a very good score for Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
So that's a B tier movie. I wouldn't even call this a B movie because the effects were so good.
Yeah, the effects were amazing.
That's what I mean when I feel like this is just the Chiodo brothers. If you want to know what they can do and what they would bring to your movie, your creature feature, if you hired their production company, then watch Killer Klowns from Outer Space. I mean, this movie came out in 88, so I don't know the status of the production company, but I hope the Chiodo brothers at least made some good money off of this one. It did profit.
I think they were involved in Critters.
We're at B+ here.
They created puppets and effects for Critters, Ernest Scared Stupid, Team America World Police.
Yes.
They did the claymation sequence for the Large Marge scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Nice.
They did the stop motion elements in the North Pole scenes from Elf. And, some other stuff. They also did a puppet segment for a Simpsons episode.
Killer Klowns from Outer Space, directed by Steven Chiodo. 1988 at a 7.5. And I know if you're a horror fan and you love some camp horror, this one's got to feel like the Citizen Kane of camp horror, right?
Dude.
Truly. So check the show notes for links and other places to find us. What do you think of Killer Klowns? This movie has its lovers, so let us know if you're one of them. What do you think about this movie and many more that we're discussing this month? Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time,
death to all traitors.